Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Sara, Mehle, ESG Index Strategist with Nasdaq Global Indexes for a technical update on the Nasdaq Next Gen 100 Index and key levels to watch. And Sara, certainly this particular index, getting hit just like all the other ones. Tell us what you're seeing here.
Hey, Jill. Yeah, so today has been another rough day on this index, but we haven't actually seen any movement when we look at a point and figure chart of the Nasdaq Next Generation 100 Index. So this particular chart that you see, we saw it hit that all-time high in November. We've seen, basically a pattern of sell signals occur this year. Just early May, we saw this chart move into a negative trend for the first time based on back-tested data going back, almost 10 years. We saw it move to that 920 level where it did bounce last week up to 1,000. And so that's where we're sitting today. So I just do want to make a point here that with that bounce, we do now have support established there at that 920 level. And then from here, if we look back, the next level of support that is offered on this particular chart goes back to March of 2020 at the 620 level.
And if we look at your next chart here, what do we see here? How is this? What levels are resonating with you?
Yeah, so again, we're going to keep an eye on that 920 level. Again, if we were to see some back and forth movement here, we might see additional levels of support get established. If we were to see, maybe a reversal down and then a subsequent reversal back up into X's. But for here, again, 920 is that firm level. We would like to see a move above that 1200, 1220 mark to move back into a buy signal and a positive trend. But again, the one kind of glimmer of hope I think we can see here on this particular chart is that we were able to bounce, establishing that new level of support, which again, if we wouldn't have established that, the next level that we were looking at is that 620 level from March of 2020. So, from here, the next move would be a buy signal. We would love to see that. That really confirms that demand is back in control. But for now, we can just look to that 920 level.
So, Sara, we've had a number of folks on the show saying that, yes, markets are oversold, Nasdaq 100 in particular, but we still haven't hit that capitulation point. That 600 level, would that be considered capitulation? Or is that really like to the downside that you're looking for?
Yeah, so I think, this is a different type of market, and I don't think we can necessarily look back to move to those levels that we saw in March of 2020. We have experienced a tremendous rally since those points, especially up through November of last year. We are 63% oversold here, so we have become less oversold over the last few trading days. But I would imagine, keeping above. I would imagine we would stay above that 600 level, just looking back to the chart action that we've seen. But again, with this bounce, keep an eye on that. And we are still technically oversold. We may continue to be oversold, but as long as that trading band adjusts, that's where we'll start to see some normalization.
All right, Sara, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.